Hello and welcome to our channel. Today, we have an interesting story for your pleasure about a man in a dilemma about his relationship who needs your advice. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hi, my name is Steve. I never thought I would have to be in a situation like this where I would believe someone, fall for them, and they would treat me the way my ex did. I never thought I would be taken for a ride and for a fool. I've always been a romantic guy and someone who believed in love. I always hoped for true love to come knocking at my doorstep one day. Even when my friends say bad things about women, I would correct them quickly and remind them about how we all need someone at the end of the day, and there were still some good women out there. About 2 years back, I met my ex, Mary. I was 30 years old and she was 22 years old. We hit it off straight away. I worked at the national park and she was a housekeeper on a work visa. She wasn't in the US. We instantly hit it off. She was so easy to talk to that it didn't matter that we were in a long-distance relationship or that I used to loathe the idea of being in a long-distance relationship due to all the bad experiences those close to me had. She was funny, smart, kind, and just so focused on building a better life for herself and her family. She told me about how her dad had died when she was 8 years old and her mom had had to toil day and night to care for her family of 5 kids. Her father's death literally plunged them into abject poverty and near starvation. She had to help her mom in some way so that her family did not go hungry. So as a child, she would first pick up empty bottles, which she would exchange for a few coins at the factory where it was crushed. Then she would go sit in their neighbor's shop, helping her clean and attend to customers. The neighbor knew of their issues and offered to help with a few cups of rice and other little groceries once in a while, paying Mary a few bucks, which was below the standard, but enough for the family to at least survive on, and all their old neighbor could part with. My girlfriend's story did not only make me fall deeply in love with her, but it also made me deeply respect her. In my mind, I thought I had found the perfect woman. I had not only found someone who was beautiful and kind, but I had also found a woman who knew the value of hard work and perseverance. It seemed like my search was complete. We even had a solid long-distance arrangement where we would visit each other on recreational visas in our respective off-seasons. I would spend a few months in Romania or meet her at some vacation destination, and then she would spend a few months in the States. This went on for about 2 years, and eventually, the conversation came up with her family about possibly moving her to the States permanently because she resided in Romania. Never really recovered from the Ceausescu regime, and political economic corruption makes life pretty unpleasant for a lot of people. Her marrying and moving to the US meant that her mom wouldn't have to worry about her daughter having a good life. I arranged for sponsorship and proposed to her. It seemed like my dreams were coming true. The love of my life was finally with me. All the stress I had endured in the past regarding heartbreak was finally over. About a month in, she's all settled in. And helping her find a job while we are looking at how much our wedding budget will be. We are making major plans and things are going smoothly when I get a message from her friend, Anna. I ignored the message initially because my mind automatically thought it was one of those jealous friends who tries to be a clog in the wheel and ruin things for her friends who have become successful. I proceeded to wait till a few days later, and then I opened the email. What I saw made me literally lose my balance. It was an email sent by Anna, my ex's so-called best friend. She began the text with how she knew I was a good man, and even though she knew it was going to hurt me and put her in trouble, she really had to say this because it hurt her conscience to keep such a huge secret, especially since Mary and I had not gotten married. She told me that everything I thought I had with Mary was a lie. She said from the very first time I contacted Mary, Mary would brag about catching a big fish and getting a fool to sponsor her to the United States for free. That had always been my girlfriend's dream, and she was willing to do anything at all to get it. Anna told me I was not the first one to try and sponsor Mary. She had tried several times before I came into the picture. In fact, she had tried to get to the States with 2 other men. It turned out that the first one was also a scammer. He was just looking for some short-term flings while he came to their country for work. He had no intention of ever marrying Mary. When Mary found out, she was already 2 weeks pregnant. She had an abortion and vowed to go harder and not be dumb with the next guy. The next guy who came was smarter. She cooked up all sorts of lies, and this guy really seemed genuine, paying for her mom's hospital bills while her mom spent 7 months in the intensive care unit after an accident, but he too wasn't ready to bring any woman into the States because he seemed scared after they got married she would spend all his money or take him to court and take half his entire earnings in a divorce. By this time she was already bitter. That was 2 years ago, and somehow I popped into her radar. I saw texts from years back which she sent to her friend about how eager and desperate I was. She said she knew I would be easy to trick and use. The time we started communicating, she met another American guy who she started having sex with. The guy was over there in her country, and he literally visited her nearly every weekend. I remembered those weekends I would want to have video calls with her, and she would all of a sudden be sick. It was weird to me because she wasn't sick throughout the week and she wasn't sick that Friday, so how did she become sick on the weekend all of a sudden? I never really thought so much about it because I trusted her so much. I would even send her money to her once in a while to get some drugs and take care of her mother with it. She kept having both local and foreign men over, both when I wasn't visiting and when I came over to her country and returned. She had another abortion again. Her friend showed me proof in the text messages and a snapshot of her pregnancy test results that said she was pregnant a few months before she came over the United States permanently. According to her friend Anna, she didn't know whether to expose Mary or not, but she knew I was a good man. I sent Anna an email asking her about how she got my contact details, and she said she got it a few months before Mary left for the States. She said she had found out my name and surname and gone on Instagram to search for me. She wanted to send me a direct message, but saw my email address, which I had put there for professional use, and had forgotten about it completely. She decided that it would be better to send the truth to my email address, as that would be the last place Mary would snoop through. She told me she wanted to reveal it all to me before Mary left, but she got scared and got stuck. She showed me pictures and screenshots of Mary's text messages with the men. She even showed me pictures of Mary with the men and some nude pictures. She said she could count about right men May had slept with, both for money and for just pure enjoyment, since I came into the picture. I was distraught. I made up my mind to kick her out immediately after I get the chance to. Of course, I wanted to enjoy her for a while because I had spent money to bring her to the States and she had not even been here for a month. Then I got worried that if I did anything drastically she could hurt me because of how desperate she was. She also had bragged before about knowing certain dangerous people who could put people to sleep if they crossed her family. Over the next 2 weeks, I was in a discussion with one of her extended family relatives who she was so close to, she referred to him as her brother. His parents had died and he practically grew up with them. He had called to ask about betting help and some money, and as God would have it, the conversation took a U-turn. All of a sudden he bragged about how he had done time in prison for smuggling weapons to Turkish terrorists, and how she had been his lookout on several occasions. I don't know if he did that to impress me or to make the family look tough, but I already recorded it. He sounded drunk, so I doubt he remembered what he was saying over the phone. I took the recording to ICE and Homeland Security and reported the both of them. As you might imagine, in the War on Terror days, this was not taken lightly. She was immediately arrested and deported, and put on a permanent no-entry terror watch list. Knowing that I won this battle makes me happy. She tried to mess with me and found out the hard way that you just don't try to use someone like that. Thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe.